Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the first commentary spree of F1 2019 in 2020. I'm Ben Regan McConnell, and joining me on the Castle desk is the legendary Jimmy M. Castell. How you doing?
No, I'm not too shabby, man. How are you?
I'm alright. It's Japan. It's WCR. You've got some good solid drives in here. Ulysses is actually somebody I keep an eye out for. I mean, I know he gets a lot of penalties, but he's actually really quite a rapid driver. So I'm hoping and praying that he's able to just pull himself together and get that consistency sorted. But speaking of consistency, Enikton's here as well. So in a similar fashion, he's rapidly fast, but gets a lot of penalties alongside of it. What's your top three?
Can you look anywhere other than Enikton? I don't think you can, in all honesty.
Zones, maybe?
Not. No, I don't think so. Yes, Zones is quick, but Enikton is going to be that next level. I think I saw Enikton at this race before. He had a lot of problems getting a lap in, but I don't think he's going to struggle on the overall.
Okay.
And I think it is going to be Enikton taking the pole. I'm just putting in my names at the moment just to ensure that I have time later. But yeah, it's definitely going to be Enikton. I wouldn't be surprised if we see. Actually, Camille's a quick driver, isn't he? It's been a while since we've seen these names. I'm trying to remember them all now.
Let me go first. Actually, give you a bit of time to think about it.
Got yours. Now, Olivia.
Well, pretty much, yeah. Because I think you're right. Enikton is going to be on pole. I think he is the fastest driver out of these boys here. Definitely.
That's Beaker. Beaker's in the barrier. In the S's already.
Oh dear. Not looking good then if he's in that position.
I might not have his information.
So, yeah, Enikton, I think, is going to be on pole. He is, in my opinion, the fastest driver on the track. Definitely more than capable of smashing it out today and more when it comes to the race. P2, I think it's... I don't know. It's either Camille or Zones. I just don't know which way round is going to be. Whichever one is in second. Copy's quick. I just don't think he's got the qualifying pace that these two have. And this isn't one of them sort of tracks either where you can really gain that much from doing the tow. So, honestly, I'm giving it to... I'm going to go Zones P2, Camille P3.
That's a shame. I was thinking along the same lines, so I'll change mine. Obviously, Enikton at the front. I think we could be in with surprising qualifying. I'm going Enikton, followed by Camille, then Beaker. Beaker's going to put out something magical. We fired him up today in the admin chat, and I think that's given a little bit of edge just to into the race.
Don't think so. When Beaker gets tilted now, I mean, we saw one time when an angry Beaker was a fast Beaker, and he was really fast, but I don't think... Oh, they're actually doing the tow. Copy's getting the tow from Enikton. They're going for it throughout 130R. Enikton's going to have to dive out of the way. There it is. So, alright. They have found a method to still make it work. I don't know how effective it would be, but that 130R, I guess, is a long run up to it.
Well,
127.7.
I'm going to go fastest, but they're not fastest in the second sector. Probably just went faster in that second sector. He's coming towards the line now, and he's not the fastest anymore. Because Camille is the fastest in the second sector. He's on his way to the Casino Triangle. Let's see what he can do. I fully expect Camille to be P1. But Zones is quick as well on his rear. Zones is in the pits.
Not happy with his lap then. Yeah, clearly something went wrong for him. Or he's supposed to go back in the pits. He might go for a medium tyre strategy. Maybe get himself in the top 10. With the fact that we've got 12 drivers, it does mean it's a lot easier to get into the top 10. So the opportunity there to go into a harder compound initially, which is exactly what Ulysses has done. At least he's doing it currently. He's out on the mediums right now, thinking about potentially doing a harder stint, off the bat, and then he goes straight into the pits. So never mind.
Yeah, so Zones was purple in Sector 2 before he brought it on in. Currently fastest in Sector 1. Enikton. And he has the tow up the hill from his teammate Copy. Here we go. Bit of a wobble coming off the last part of Spoon. And this is what they do so well. And I think this is really going to help them. But as long as they don't get dirty air elsewhere, we've actually seen Copy do this and then have an incident with another driver. Was that the RNL League?
It was. I remember it well.
Drove into another car at that point.
Yeah.
But no surprise, entered turn B1.
By a huge margin as well. Look at that, 6/10. That is enormous. You kind of get the impression that he could literally not do the rest of qualifying and still get there. Although we are still waiting to see the Zones put a lap on the board. I mean, he has got the skill to be there. I don't know if he's got the skill to be faster than a Nick Turn. He's actually got a Nick Turn ahead of him. If he wasn't on an outlap, he could have used that toe down 130R and then enjoyed every second of it. But now he's just sticking behind him for now. Finish the outlap and then push on the hot lap.
Yeah, so Enito went fastest in all 3 sectors. I do say it wasn't even close, and it wasn't anyway. He purple all 3, and he's definitely going to be the man to beat. Over half second clear Camille. Swable in 4th is 1.1 seconds back already. So there is a big gap forming between Enito and the rest of the competition. And we'll see what Zones can do to close up into that gap. I think he'll be looking to just get it into the low 127s here. I don't think realistically he can beat any turn, but we'll soon see.
Well, I mean, we've still got track evolution to take into effect, and if a Nick Turn's doing 127 zeros, surely we're going to see him do a 126 something when it comes to, I mean, maybe even like a 126.6 would be just tremendous. But Zones has started the hot lap. We haven't yet done a hot lap rundown. Do you want to go for it now?
Well, Zones have just gone through the first corner, first turn, turns 1 and 2 into the S's then. And this is turn 3 to the left, and they just flow together through 4, up into 5, through 6, as we come to the end of the S's, and then into Dunlop, the long left-hander. Keeps on going, goes for so long. Into towards the Digners. First one, a little lift, little shift, throw it through. Second one, a bit of banking as well, just to try and catch you out as you go under the track of this figure of 8, through the kink of turn 10, keeps to the right as much as you can, hard braking into the hairpin of turn 11. Get the power down as early as you dare, don't hit Stephanator on the left. That was good. Through the long right-hander then of turn 12, come towards the double left-hander of Spoon, turns 13, 14, keep on the right-hand side, throw it in, carry as much speed as you can, and careful the exit, because this is where we see a lot of wobbles, and he looks clean, very clean. Purple sector 1 he had. Sector 2 is coming to an end now, and we'll see what he can achieve. He's come up to 130R, turn 15. He hasn't gone fastest in the second sector. He hasn't improved from his previous best. Into then the Casino Triangle, turn 16, 17. And then the power down on the exit. Careful of the bumps. He's just looked like he lost it a little bit, but holds it and does put it as a 1:27.515. So not too bad, but there's definitely room for improvement there.
Do we think that the toe was the major, do we think 5/10 is what that toe is worth?
Well, let's put it this way. Zones did the purple sector 1. He did a 31.8. And he did a 31.835. But then the second sector, Zones wasn't even the fastest of the others. The next fastest behind Etienne is a 39.383. And Etienne did a 39.156. So yeah, I'd say that's a fair assumption that that's a bit of toe. It's not all the toe. You're not going to gain that much there. But the last sector, people are doing 16.2s in Copy, who did have the toe. So let's look at Zones. He does 16.313, and Etienne does 16.075. So I think it's a combination of the toe and just pure out and out pace. And yeah,
he's getting the toe again. Actually, look at that Copy. Now going through the triangle.
Copy set to improve here.
Oh, is he just?
He hasn't just evaluated. No. Even if he has, I think he has to stay out just to give his teammate a toe. But he hasn't. Improvement from him.
So yeah, Copy is obviously going to be way down the road now. They have executed this so perfectly. Honestly, it impresses me just how much they do this. I don't think I've seen any driver try. I mean, we saw in a different league, Yolta and Gooby do it, and it worked. But not as cleanly as this. This is just surgical. They make it look so simple, and the timing is just incredible. Like, Ed Nickton will sit in the pits for like almost the entire lap, and then he'll just time it just right to come out. Although he has made a mistake. He's just got on the exit there a bit too much. That curb really caused a bit of instability. He's still okay. I don't think he's actually affected him that much, but yeah, he's
done 10th in the first sector on his previous best, but this is where he's going to make the time up. On the exit here, through the long right-hander, and he's backed out.
Yeah, not happy with that, is he? I think he knew there was just something not right about that lap. It was a good attempt, but Camille has actually done another lap. He's brought himself much closer to Copy than before. Obviously, Copy was further down, but now, due to that toe and a better lap, Copy is up in a P2. 127.358. Camille there, 127.398. And Zones is just a smidgen off that, 127.515. So he's still got an opportunity to bring it in. And your claim to Beaker is actually not that far off. P5 right now.
Yeah, the toe is working really well for those McLaren boys. I was thinking about a 1-2 for them, but I didn't think it was going to be possible. But who knows at this stage?
Yep.
It's looking good. It's all going to come down to their final run, I reckon. Because the track evolution is going to be such an important part here. If Copy goes first, he's not going to have the ideal lap, and he's going to be down a little bit because of it, and then people will be going a little bit later and getting a bit more time. And he's not a million miles ahead of Camille or Zones. Beaker's a little bit further back. So, yeah, it's looking like I think Copy might be beaten by Camille and Zones, particularly if they just get a bit lucky and get a little toe of someone. Even if it's just for half the straight, something's better than nothing.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, we haven't seen Overspeed yet. I haven't seen Overspeed race in quite a while, so I don't know if he's been sweating it out trying to improve or not. It'd be good to... I mean, I raced with him just yesterday, actually. But I didn't actually meet him on track. I don't know if he was ahead of me or behind me, but I just didn't see him anywhere. It'd be good to see if he has got the goods. He's on mediums, though. Bear that in mind.
He's up by 8 tenths. We'll soon see. I think he's probably going to get a good second and a bit improvement. He won't really move up. But there you go, 2.5 improvement, which isn't too bad when you look at his comparisons of Justice. Justice is sort of 7 tenths faster than him, but on soft compounds, so they're probably about equal.
Yeah. Alright, so good. It's good to see Overspeed trying that harder tyre. Yeah. Oh, he's lost it. That's a gravel trip and into the wall, but he is still alive. He's not dead. That rear end of that car is very strong, that's for sure. He's really got lucky there, to be honest. But yeah, it is the calm before the storm, as almost all the drivers, at least, are in the pits prepping for their final push. Someone who's out there and going for it already is this man here, Zones. He's very much committed to trying to get himself up at the front, but I think he's maybe done it a bit too early. He could do a lap, or he could have bought this lap and reset. I guess we'll see.
Keep going, Zones. You just done purple sector 1. Keep the pedal down. You're going to get a toe as well here from Overspeed. You nail this corner, I think you've got a chance putting it on the front row. Yes, okay, might have got a little early, but the toe is going to be useful. If he's that close to Copy without the toe, how close is he going to be when he has it? And there you can see that is Overspeed just ahead of him. Will Overspeed lift off a little bit just to give Zones a toe? Doesn't appear to be. He's going to get a little bit back there, but not as much as you would have liked.
I mean, he's still going strong there. I mean, looking at his pace and looking at the lines he's taken, he seems to have got everything pretty much bang on. I've not seen any sort of like wobbles or mistakes or anything. This is going to be the crucial one. That's invalidated. That's got to be invalidated.
So bring it in?
Yep.
Trying to bring it in anyway.
They almost pinned
one of those,
isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen it before. It's one of those hairy moments, isn't it? They just hang it out and then don't bring it back in.
He's got a bit of time. He could actually reset, go out again. He just has to
on his way.
Get a move on.
Lever's on the way. Justice is about to start his lap. And there is movement down in the pit lane. Who's that? That is Enick coming out. So Enick going to get the first lap in. Copy is going to have to give the toe, or get the toe for the second one. Could that be the difference between second and fourth?
Possibly. I mean, these guys are obviously going to be giving it the whole lot, chucking everything at it, including the kitchen sink. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see and Nick Turn get into that 126 margin. I really, really want to see that happen. Because remember, that lap he set there is still the first lap he actually set in the session. He's not improved since. He backed out of the lap he did earlier. Just wasn't happy with it. And again, he's going to have that toe from Copy. It looks like he's going to be getting first dibs on it.
Yeah, I'm just getting a message from Ulysses thinks there's lobbies bugged because everyone's in the pits. No, they are actually all in the pits. But Justice actually, he would have had a little toe from Blackbird, but he's gone past him now. Which means Enter might actually get a toe from Blackbird. It's going to be a little bit once he catches up. I'm not seeing any movement down from Copy. So Copy's not on his way just yet. I wonder how often they practice this, just to get their timings done. Copy's now coming.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Turn's on his out lap, so he's not actually yet doing a push lap. That's why Nick Turn is, Copy stayed in the pits for as long as he did. Just Ice in the top 10 now in P9. We've got Blackbird down there on a hot lap, coming up to, or he's just started, sorry, his hot lap. He's going to have a bit of traffic in front of him if Just Ice doesn't get out of the way. This could be dramas. That nicely done, straight out of the way. But yeah, Copy's timed it again perfectly so that he's out ahead, further up the field. Just a little bit so that he can just time it perfectly. But yeah, I think you're right. They've absolutely rehearsed this. I couldn't tell you exactly how long they've rehearsed this. Oh, he's backed out. And
yeah, I was going to say, that's he's got time to do another, but he's got to get going. And he's got about a minute to the checker flag, and he's got 20 odd seconds to waste.
I think he just timed it wrong. I think
there's a lot of traffic in front of him.
Yeah. I think Zones did the right thing, except he just didn't quite... Oh, there's his teammate. Are they doing it again?
I don't know what they're doing. Is that Turn thinking that he's not going to get beaten? Because you don't want a toe through the S's. That dirty air is going to mess you right up.
I think Copy might start backing off, but he can't... The problem is he can't back off. Oh, he is. He's backed off.
They're both backed off.
There's going to be so much traffic. So Nick Turn is going to go off now. He's already starting to shoot away so that he can build up a bit of a distance between him and Copy. Copy's obviously sort of crawling a little bit to make sure that Nick Turn can get a gap away. And now Copy's going to go for it, but he's going to have to worry about Stefaner. If Stefaner has a mistake on the lap, or he's slow, Copy will be in him.
Stefanator's technically a second slower than Etiton, so that gap is around a second, maybe 1.5 between Etiton and Stefanator. So that is going to affect them because on that lap. So who's next to finish the lap? Camille is on his way. He's coming up the hill then. Next man to finish the lap. Is he going to get up ahead of Copy? He's got to, really. But he's down on his previous best by half a tenth.
Yeah.
Under the pressure, Stefanator's off track. And Camille, so you're going to do that like a corner cut.
Still going there. Is this going to be the one? He does jump him. I mean, it's marginal, but he does jump him. So who's next? Zones?
Zones is just coming up now.
Doesn't improve.
No. Overspeed is the next man up.
He's already run out of ERS. That I don't know how, but he has. I think he just sat in mode 4 the entire time. So this is not going to be an improvement. It was actually weirdly an improvement. It just... Oh, I guess he did on mediums, didn't he? That would explain it. Who's next?
Next up, we've got a collection of Shrubblade Black Enterton all in the way in a little space.
Is it Nick Turn going again?
Well, he's just overtaken Blackbird, so yes, he is.
Wow. He might get that 126 then after all. No, he's definitely not. I've just seen him cut the course. Here comes Schwalbe to the line. Does improve. A big jump there. 3/10 puts him P5. Realistically, no one's going to beat that right now.
Copy and Stefanator.
Copy's backed out. Stefanator's also backed out. That's it then. Done and dusted. Where's Brownie actually? I haven't literally seen Brownie at all. No, he's also done as well. So, and Nick Turn does take pole position. Camille takes P2, and we both... I mean, you mentioned him.
I had an inkling that he was going to do it, but I'm surprised that he did it.
So Eulis is asking for an invite. but we can't invite
We
it
can't give.
because we're spectators. It physically won't let us, mate.
No.
Like if I go start, there is no option. Sad
Can't wait
panda.
for Ready to retire. It's a shame,
So-
isn't it?
We're not surprised, obviously, that a Nick turn got pulled. We kind of predicted that. Works. I mean, I'm not surprised at Camille's P2. I kind of expected him to be in that area anyway.
Did you have Camille P3, didn't you?
I did have Camille, yeah.
Behind
Zones
Zones.
P2, Camille P3. I honestly copy. I mean, that it just shows that toe is actually far more important than I really anticipate. I mean, Copy is fast. Don't get me wrong. He's really stepped his pace up just lately. It's just I didn't expect it to be that insane. But a Nick turn on pole by just under 3/10. He sits ahead of Camille in P2 and Copy his teammate in P3. Zones in P4, Schwalbe P5, Beaker P6, Brownie P7, Stefanet P8, and P9 is just Ice, who's actually just outside the 1 second margin as well, along with Euless, who rounds out the top 10, and then you've got Blackbird, who gets best of the rest award, then Overspeed in P12. Now, these two will get the opportunity to choose whatever tyres they want to go for, but will they opt for a medium compound to start with? I'm pretty certain you can do soft mediums here. It's just, are you going to do that? Are you actually going to try that? It's a rough ask.
I think you've got to try something, haven't you, from back there, just to try, just improve your lack a little bit. But they're not there because they did mistakes in qualifying. They're there because they haven't got the pace, in all honesty. So they've got to try something different. It's not like you can just sit on the softs and go, well, I'll be with them at the end. Go for the mediums. Take that alternative strategy. Try and make that work for you. Because you're not going to beat the guys in front of you on pure pace, in honesty.
No,
You've got to
definitely
try something different. So yeah, they've got to go mediums in my eyes. No two ways about it.
So it looks like Euless is not going to be able to get... Oh, I couldn't have timed that any better if I tried. Euless has managed to rejoin. I don't know if he's going to be able to race, though. I do see a Mercedes at the back. That was Overspeed. Euless is actually apparently there in P10, but he's
not. He's in the pits.
I don't think he can race then.
No, doesn't appear that he's got back in time, unfortunately. So let's see what times they've gone for at the back.
Everyone except Overspeed has gone softs. Well, obviously the top 10 have to, but Overspeed has chosen medium, so he is looking better later on. But yeah, we got a ways to go before we get to that point. 27 laps is this Grand Prix. I think we're expecting to pit around about lap sort of 16.
I will update you once we start getting telemetry data coming in as the anticipated pit window, because obviously everyone has different sort of tyre wear from their qualifying.
Yeah.
Based on what times they're currently gone. I can see some people have got much higher, but not everyone has given me telemetry data, unfortunately.
Sad panda. So
yeah, it's useful.
what's your 1, 2, 3 then for the end of this Grand Prix? As is, or are you going to switch it up?
I reckon Camille and Etienne, sorry, are going to have a good fight. I think Etienne really got his qualifying time from the toe, so I fully expect Camille will give him a good running, but I think Etienne has just the pure pace overall to hold the win, even if he does pick up a penalty or two. P2 will go with Camille. P3. I'm going. Let's go for a little. It's not really a surprise, but there's a little difference. Probably P3.
All right. Okay. See, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go as is. I'm actually going to say as is. Yeah. Nicto P1, Camille P2, Copy P3. I've underestimated Copy far too many times, and as quick as I think Zones
And
is.
Brownie.
Brownie. But I don't think Brownie will get podium today unless Camille gets penalty. You know what? I'm changing it. Nicto and Copy Zones. Done.
Fair enough.
And then here we go. We are on the grid, ready to get underway with the Japanese Grand Prix. The lights are on, and it's go time here in Japan. And then Nickton's got a pretty solid start. Camille is having to tuck in a little bit behind Nickton with Copy there, fighting off Zones. Zones down the inside. Actually, is he getting that position? He has. He's done. He's through. A little bit of contact between the two, putting him on the grass, but he's just about kept himself together and keeps P3. Schwalbe is scrapping as well, trying to keep himself alive and in the game. I think he's done about just that.
Well, that's your overtake done already. Yeah, it's only the first corner.
Yeah.
So Zone's the only real gainers. I thought actually Overspeed's up for place of Justice and Euless, but Euless hasn't started, so it doesn't really count. Brandon Beaker also swapped places. Beaker now staring down the back end of that Williams, wondering what he can do to get past us. Brownie was sizing up Schwable there into the hairpin. Doesn't go for it, but sits in nice and neatly behind and waits his turn.
Yep, it's doing well. Just Ice, a bit further behind. He's obviously now fallen to what is effectively now last place. Although he still got all the cars right there ahead of him. Blackbird just went a bit tight on that entry there for the first left-hander of Spoon. Exit was perfectly fine though, and everyone else seemed to take it a little bit too wide. He's not really gaining anything right now, but give it a second, he might actually suddenly close in on Stefano.
No one's actually closing in on anyone at the moment. They're all keeping their distance, and looks like we're going to be finishing that like this then. Blackbird a little bit corner cut twice there, I think. Stephanie's got a terrible drive off. Blackbird's got a chance here. Pulls out. Oh, back into the slipstream now. Stephanie's got a terrible drive off the corner. Blackbird sizes him up down into the first corner. Stephanie lags all over the place in defence and holds off the flying Blackbird. And he's got to wait now because we're in the S. There's not really an opportunity to overtake unless you've got, well, you've got to have Death Wish sometimes to make a move through here.
Oh, very big cojones. And I don't think we're going to be seeing that just yet. It's just a bit too early, but Brownie's on the back of Schwalbe. Schwalbe made a mistake. Is he going to send it into the first Degners? He's not. That would have been a very risky send had he tried it, but there was a window there, opportunity. These moments do arise, and you do have to snatch them, and I think Brownie made the right decision in the end to not... Is that Brownie getting attacked? No, sorry, Zones is attacking Camille. Zones is already lining Camille up to be overtaken. He might actually get him on the exit of Spoon and charging up towards 130 yard.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he's right there, but Camille is still going to get a little bit of slipstream from end turn. Not as much as he'd like, and those times are pretty accurate on the left. And 4/10 is the gap between Zones and Camille. But Camille closes up to enter turn through his slipstream, bringing everyone along with him. And we're all still quite tightly bound here at the end of the second lap. Is anyone going to fancy a dive into the first corner? As there's a dive there. Justice and Osby come together. They're coming together between those two. Keep your eyes on that battle. That is going to be a battle and a half.
I thought it was going to end up with a car being buried into the wall. They are so tight. Look at them, how close they are. Wheel banging left, right, and centre. Overspeed's going to go down the inside. Just as it's going to be on the outside, and Overspeed reclaims P10. Not without getting the elbows out and with a wobble to go with it as well. He's definitely holding that car as hard as he can. Blackbird's gone.
In the wall. And that is on turn 4. It looks like he just lost the back end, and well, he did that in qualifying, didn't he? He lost the back end into the wall, but survived. This time he doesn't.
Yeah.
Justice is looking for some justice on Overspeed.
Trying to at least. I mean, there was a very tense moment there. The wheels were banging very much so, and I thought it was going to end in tears. Just as was looking for the inside, Overspeed protects it, like allows the inside on the exit, and that's also caused mega overdrive, from Overspeed. He's all over the place, trying to just hold him back. Surely that was more than one move. Look, he's still going.
Nudges.
I think that is karma, right? There was a lot of weaving there from Overspeed.
Yeah, there's definitely nudges from Justice on the back of Overspeed, and is that Justice or
just ice?
Just ice. I think Overspeed might have hit some ice by the looks of how he went off there.
There's a bit of a nudge from Just Ice into the back of Overspeed, and that's Overspeed. Yeah, I was being generous. Okay, it was very. It was a fair bit of a nudge. I don't know who is necessarily at fault, but we'll let the stewards sort that out. Our job is to make this exciting.
Well, the drivers need to help us with that. Gaps are starting to grow a little bit. Intern still isn't pulling away as quickly as you might expect, but Camille is doing a good job to hold on the back of them. 0.6 is the gap there. Closest gap is Brownie to Schwable. Half a second there. And Brownie will be looking to take anything he can get to come through on that one. And he doesn't appear to be doing it just yet. DRS has been enabled. And Trouble isn't going to get it as it stands from copy, so Brown needs to keep up the pace, keep up the pressure, and he'll have a shot on the home straight, if not before.
Yeah, I'm just watching Brownie closing in on Schwalbe. He was pretty close a second ago. He's still relatively close. No DRS for Schwalbe. We are obviously on lap 4, so DRS has been enabled. And that does mean that, not here, but on the home straight, there is an opportunity for closure, especially as Camille is working his way closer to that McLaren. Needs to get the exit out of this little triangle here perfect if he can, and Nick Turn will be in trouble. And so far, we've not seen any penalties for corner cutting, despite the fact we've seen some corner cutting. Here we go then. The gap is a bit too much, and Nick Turn just got a much better exit out of the final corner than Camille. That's why he's holding on to P1, and unless he makes a mistake...
Well, that's an easy overtake at the end, but probably has a chance to get him back on the exit and can't do anything about it.
Yeah. It's just too tight there. You've got so much reliance on the downforce to even navigate the corner anyway. To then go side by side with someone else, he's only going to ruin both of your races. It's just not worth it. So, yeah, Brownie, good move. Up in a P5, 1.8 seconds off of Copy, and Copy's now just fallen outside of DRS on zones.
Yeah, so he might fall back into the clutches of Brownie. You counted Brownie out, and that could have been a mistake.
Well, out of the top 3, at least.
Out of the top 3. He's not there yet, obviously, but he's got a good chance of getting there. If these top 3 keep batting, there's your first penalty. Collected by Overspeed down at the Digners. And, well, it's only one penalty. Shouldn't be too much of an issue at the moment for him.
So let's see then how Zones manages to work this problem he's currently got, which is a very fast Camille closing in on race leader, and Zones is being left behind a little bit here, and Nick Turn is in a lot more trouble than he was last lap. This needs to be the perfect exit from Nick Turn to protect himself. It also needs to be the perfect exit from Camille to attack, and it looks like he might have just done enough. He's in the slipstream. The gap is coming down, but I think Nick Turn has got it. Yeah, he's held on. Good. Oh, nearly. There was a bit extra break in there. I thought there was going to be contact between the two, but no. Camille stays P2, and Nick Turn holds on to race lead for now. Zones needs to get a move on.
Yeah, Anderson left a little door open there for Camille. Camille didn't bite, and now has to do it all over again, while at the same time keeping your eyes on the mirrors, because there is a Ferrari there. He wants to come past. One little wobble can really bring Zones into play. That's kind of what Anderson's hoping, that Zones can catch up and pressurise Camille, so much so that his attention goes to the man behind instead of the man in front, and allow Anderson to pull away. But Camille is right up on his rear now. Less than 3/10 to come towards Spoon.
I'm watching Zones as well. He's literally right there now. The gap has really closed up. I think he realised I have to hurry up before this becomes a problem and I can't close up on it anymore. Camille might even go for it before we even get to the final corner. If he chooses not to, this will be a problem for him because the Zones will be right on the rear of him. Is he going to send it? He's going alongside of him then, coming into the final few corners. Who's going to break the latest? It looks like, oh, there's a bit of a turn in there from Camille. And there's contact between the two as well. They are going all the way around together. And this is allowing Zones now to work his way up. And my controller's disconnected one more time, but we're going to keep up with it because actually, it's done it again.
Camille's going for it. He's dived around the outside of the first corner. Camille has the lead. Little nudging it along. Camille still just a nose ahead and now fully ahead of Eniton. Zones can't take advantage of any of that. But Camille, little nudges up at the casino triangle, but he got nudged back. All fair and level more between those two. But Camille has the race lead. Zones needs to hold on to these two now.
Well, it was a pretty little spicy battle that was, wasn't it? Camille really just came out on top, and I honestly didn't think we were going to be seeing that happen at all this Grand Prix. I put Camille out of the top 3, and I might actually now be regretting that.
I think he might be. Camille has the lead, but we're slowly approaching the pit stop window. Expect it in the region of probably lap 9 to 12. The first bit, if not lap 8. So let's say 8 to 12. I know it's a big
That is a
gap,
big window.
Alright, 9 to 12. 3 laps okay?
Yeah, I'll let you have it.
If you want me to nudge off lap 12.
Yeah, I think realistically you're looking at around about lap 10, 11 at latest. Yeah. I think you're right. I think lap 9 is probably the moment where they're going to bring it in, get on those softs and just take it to the end. 10 laps if you were on brand spanking new softs, but these have been used for qualifying, so there's definitely going to be an issue. And I think Nick Turn's got a problem. Something's not right for him. He's got DRS, obviously, so he's going to protect himself from zones, but he just doesn't seem to have that pace at the moment.
As his tyre's fallen off a little bit before everyone else's. I was expecting Zones to come in there and do the undercut. Just try something. Keep them on their toes in front. Sorry, my voice is starting to go there. Just try something. And I think the undercut could have been really useful there because that would have caught them out. And could have given them a chance of being in the lead. But I think Zones should now be thinking, do whatever they don't do now.
Yeah, that won't help him.
Got 3-second penalty.
Yeah, that will not help him at all. 3-second penalty for extending track limits and corner cutting. Definitely don't want that.
Now you've got to do something different. You've got to pit now. Make the early stop. Get on the mediums. Get ahead of them.
Run away.
So what's the pit stop window here? You've probably come out ahead of Overspeed by a little bit. So nice window to drop back into there. Got to go for it now, Zones.
Yeah, most people will be coming into the pits as well this lap, I think. It's either this or next for sure. If Zones goes for that undercut, then perfect. Even if they come in at the same time, I think he's done the right thing. Pitting another lap later would be a mistake. Let's see if anyone else goes for it. Camille is not in, and Nick Turn's not in, and neither is Zones. I think that's a mistake. Is Copy in? No, he's staying out as well.
Oh, Brownlee faked it. Brownlee faked the in. Beaker has gone for it. Let's see what happens to him. See if he can gain some positions out of this. First man to blink. Unless there's... No, it can't be rain coming. The weather's still clear.
No, definitely not. I think we're going to be seeing dry spells all the way throughout the rest of this Grand Prix. I mean, Beaker checking on the mediums as well now. Definitely chosen the right tyre. I know that no one's going to go for the hards here, but it's just kind of a sort of... You're going to have to manage him a little bit more than normal because of the fact you've gone that little bit extra, a little bit earlier. You've gone for that... I mean, it might pay off massively. You could see him jump up a few places here, especially if people get stuck. Camille's lost places. They're fighting. Yeah, they're actually battling for race lead. I didn't even see the dive. He's gone, and he's not quite got it. He is still right on the rear end of him. Camille really has to watch his mirrors.
Yeah, Zones is there as well. I think Enton took a dive into turn 11, had the position but went so deep into the corner he couldn't really defend it on the exit. Camille still has the lead, but Enton's going to be in the slipstream up the hill. Zones is still there as well. These guys do what they did last time. Zones could have another chance to come through. Or is it pit stop time? The problem is Copy is within hold-up distance of Enton, so Copy's got to do whatever Enton doesn't do this lap.
I think we're going to see one of these guys come in here. I don't think anyone's going to... Oh, there's Camille. There's a Nick Turn. But no, he stays out. And he tried to fake out Zones, but Zones is through. That is a position change. Zones will hold race lead for now. But has Camille done the right thing? Has he pitted at the right time? We're going to get an idea, if you like. But they're still going. They're almost side by side throughout the entirety of turn 1. There was a little bit of kissing around there, but Zones is still race leader. I say still. He only did it for a corner. He's still holding on to it for now, though.
Just seeing how they're all faring in the pit lane. Brown is right on the rear of Copy then. Right on the rear. And Swabbley's there as well, so good battle going to be developing here. 5th, 6th and 7th. Where did Beaker come out? He's not too far back. No, he hasn't lost. He's on fresh tyres, and he was 4 seconds behind Swabbley when he pitted, so he's gained 2 seconds.
No, because we're still in for the top 3 to pit as well.
Yeah. So don't count Beaker out just yet.
I mean, it would be disastrous if we saw a Nick Turn and Zones just drop right down off the back of Camille. Because it seems like that undercut was the right call. I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, Beaker gained 2 seconds, so if Enton and Zones lose 2 seconds, they are going to be sort of within the clutches of Copy. Maybe they're going to lose more because these tyres are even older now. Let's find out.
Oh, that was so close. Both drivers locked up, but Nick Turn carried so much more pace.
Enton's stayed out. I saw that one coming.
I think Zones lost wing.
Don't have telemetry on him, unfortunately. It was a bollard he did hit, and it did pick up a 5-second penalty as well, so that zones his chance for a podium pretty much drifting away.
So he's got 8 seconds in total. Remember now, he had that 3 earlier, he's now got an additional 5. Where is Camille? Camille is coming. He's got him.
Camille's well past.
Right back in the lead again. Well, net lead.
That's got to be Camille taking the race lead after this then.
I don't think Eniton can do anything about it. He will have some fresh mediums towards the end of the race, but I think that's Eniton dropping down to P2. Zones is going to drop quite heavily once the checker flag falls.
Yeah, Brownie's getting quite a lot out of this. Look at this, he's on the back of Copy, who was about a second and a half off of the battle for top 3. So if Brownie can pull it together, he might actually do what I said he couldn't do and get on the podium.
I told you to never count Brownie out. I was looking at him going, this is something that Brownie could do from back here.
Yeah.
He has these races that he either gets plenty of penalties or none. And if he gets nothing, he's getting podium here today, I reckon.
I mean, he is the consistent driver, isn't he? He is the one you can rely on to do that, and he will go for those really crazy tyre strategies, although it's just the one. No speeding penalty for him, yeah.
He took it very carefully on the way in, but I fully expect him to come out now behind Zones.
Oh,
Zones!
Another penalty. That was the final corner. Final corners, should I say. Camille is away. Where is it? Nickturn. He's already behind. There's Zones, so like you said, he's going to fall behind. So Nickturn has lost out. Definitely needed that undercut. But I think that it didn't help the fact that he was also that extra bit careful going into the pits. Yes, he's confirmed to take that position back from Zones unless something drastic happens. But again, you're not really in position now to attack Camille.
Yeah, Zones has 11 seconds penalties. As it stands, he will be P7. That is a big drop.
Yeah.
And that's assuming he doesn't pick up anything else between this. Oh, I saw that one coming. That was very aggressive at the first Degner there for Eniton, and he's got his first penalty of the day. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's not his last, because he's got to push and push hard.
Yeah, and that's when we see a Nickturn start to make those little mistakes, start to get those penalties. But you know, again, don't count him out. Camille is someone else you can rely on to get penalties, and currently he's actually kept a completely clean sheet. Touch wood. I don't want to jinx anyone today.
The thing is, Eniton will have 2-lap pressure tyres at the end of this race, and that could be the difference for him between first and second here. If Camille picks up a penalty, the race is on. If he doesn't, Eniton, I don't think he's going to have a chance, especially if he takes corners like that. And well, he's catching up to close Zones. He needs to catch up and pass Zones quickly as possible here.
Just watching Brownie and the way that he's managing the gap to him and Copy, he's not going for any sort of closing up moves. He's just managing ERS. And I'm looking at Schwalbe in a similar sort of position. He's trying to work his way towards Brownie and Copy and gain something out of this. Copy's doing a pretty solid job of holding onto his ERS based on the current situation. You know, 0 throughout the entirety of the S's. Obviously, everyone else is doing the same thing, but this is just showing that these guys have really put the focus in here to try and make sure their ERS management is under control, knowing how much you're going to need it in the run-up towards 130R and the home straight.
Yeah, Eniton's just done a purple sector 1 on his charge. He's nearly got his teammate covered off, which I guess is the first thing he's got to do is get that 3-second lead to your teammate, and then look towards Zones. You already have position-wise, but he needs to find 3 seconds to Camille. I don't think he's got the pace here today.
Or Camille gets a penalty and then Nickturn stays clean throughout the remainder of this race. I mean, it's a gamble to try and do that. You know, if you're in Nickturn's shoes right now, you have to just focus on just going for it. There's no holding back here. Just absolutely deliver lap after lap.
Eniton already has 1 penalty, so Camille will need 2 penalties to switch that.
Yeah.
And Eniton got his earlier, and for just something silly, just took the corner too early. But Schwalbe on the back end of Brownie. Nothing coming of it there. They're both... Well, they're not really draining copies. ERS, they are matching him, basically. So...
I think Copy has got like a sixth sense now. I mean, we used to really go in hard about how his ERS usage was... We both did, but we both remember a particular race where his ERS usage was just not on point, and as a result of that, he lost out a hell of a lot of places and time. He's since worked on that, whether it's because of our feedback or not. Either way, he's fixed it, and now he's at a point where he seems to be able to sixth sense what drivers behind him are doing. If he's like experimenting a little bit, going, well, I'll sit in mode 0 for this little while and see if they close in on me. If the answer is no, they're not trying to pass me. They're trying to just hold the gap and use me to pull away. So I don't have to deploy anywhere near as much as I want. I can run mode 1 around Spoon and other areas of the track. And Schwalbe gets himself a penalty. That's not good.
Yeah. So in terms of penalties, Zones with 11 seconds already. There's 5 seconds speeding penalty and 6 seconds on-track penalties. 3 seconds ready turn. Trailblaze on 3 as well. Steph on 3 and Overspeed also on those 3 seconds. Overspeed still to pit. Back there in 10th. Guaranteed to get points if he finishes as Enturn goes fastest of anyone.
Yep. I'm just keeping an eye on Overspeed. Obviously on these mediums have been warned. He's struggling.
Definitely a 5-second penalty there for him. That's not going to help his cause.
Overspeed just cut a corner drastically. I don't know how he didn't get a penalty for that. That was a massive corner cut. He's really committed to closing in on the back of Just Ice. I'm watching the way that he's just chucking everything in. ERS levels on 4 right now, and the bar that he's got remaining is very little, and he's gone. Oh no, that's a huge crash. Lost the rear, off into the wall, and speared it hard. That front right wheel has blown off the car, and he is out of this Grand Prix. We are now down to 9 remaining drivers. There's still a nice little juicy battle going on for P4.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes firmly fixed on telemetry data. It's looking interesting for some drivers. Their tyres are going to be hitting critical point on the last lap if they continue like they are so far. And we're going to have to be careful of that because the last thing you want is a puncture.
Yep.
And that is really going to make a mess of your race. So, what is Brownie doing to Copy? Nothing. What is it doing to Zones? Nothing just yet.
Well, one thing well, we say nothing in terms of Brownie on Copy. Yeah, he's not really attacking him, but he is attacking his ERS a little bit more than he did before. Somehow, Brownie's generated quite a lot now just by sitting in the DRS and using that. But then if you look at the Red Bull counterpart further down in P6, he has lost a tremendous amount of ERS in this chase to try and stay with these two drivers. So now Schwalbe can't fall out of DRS. If he falls out of DRS, the pace just drops away from him. He hasn't got the ERS management to be able to keep with these guys, and he's in a whole world of pain.
Just don't look at Beaker's ERS, whatever you do.
I mean, that's normal. He's tried to fix it. He really needs to work on that a little bit more.
I think he's just trying to catch up too often to the guys in front.
Yeah.
He's playing the short game, not the long game. He can see them. They're 2.5 seconds ahead. But if he just played a slightly better game, he would catch up eventually because they're going different, slightly slower. And yes, he's shooting himself in the foot at the moment. Where's Ellington?
Yeah, he's really worked that gap down, hasn't he? I mean, Zones has also fallen away a fair bit. 2.8 seconds is the gap now between him and Camille. So I think Zones has gone into, okay, I'm not winning this race. Let's just try and maintain tyre wear and pace and not get another 5-second penalty like he just has done. That final 2 corners seems to be a real problem for him. But here comes it, Nick Turn then. DRS slipstream. Straight on past him. Not really that difficult. No real fight there from Zones. I think he's just trying to nurse the car now. Trying to nurse his situation. He's going to be feeling a little bit beaten down on the situation with penalties. And Nick Turn there, P2. 3.1 seconds is the gap between him and Camille. And bear in mind that Nick Turn has a 3-second penalty already, whereas Camille has nothing.
Zones now on 16 seconds of penalties. 2 5 seconds, one for the pit lane, one for that corner cut you just saw, and 6 others from too many warnings he's picked up. He needs to. He just needs to do something.
Yeah,
And not cut corners.
I don't understand how, though.
He needs to go rest the race penalty free, realistically, to have a chance of getting decent points. Because at the moment, he's looking like he's going to be P8. Maybe P7 actually, because Stefanator won't pass because he's got 3 seconds of his own and another 5 seconds. So, just needs to. Well, maybe it's a case that he comes in the pits, serves one of those penalties, gets some softs on at the end, and goes for some fastest laps. I think that's the only thing he can realistically do now. Save himself some points.
Maybe. Maybe. I think he's in trouble either way. I think he might actually just fall to P9 no matter what. Especially when you got a Nixon chucking in fastest laps like that. That's a right kick in my teeth.
Yeah, but the Zones is still there on the back of Ellington, even if he's putting in the fastest laps. He's still there.
He's hanging in. That's definitely happening. But Nixon really starting to pull away. That gap is not really reducing between him and Camilla. And Nick Turn seems quite wobbly, if I'm honest. If you watch the way that he's taking these corners, he just seems like he's chucking so much in and almost losing the car, but just keeping it together. I'm actually beginning to wonder, will Nick Turn actually finish this race?
Yeah, I think he will. He's, well, better than his teammate just tried to do. Just keep an eye on Camilla and Ellington's times. Last lap, there was only a 10th between them. Ellington closed up 1/10 on Camille. But in the opening sector, Camille was a 10th faster than Ellington. Second sector times are on their way, so we'll see that shortly. Brownie is all over the back of Copy. Copy's still trying to sort out his ERS realistically. But Brownie's got a chance here of getting P4. In fact, P3 when you think about it.
Yeah. He's going for it though. I mean, I've just seen him using mode 5 on the exit of Spoon, so he's clearly feeling a little bit fighty. Let's see if he can actually... He might go for the ERS turn up pretty early. He needs to. He's actually held it really quite late. He's gone for mode 5 though. Here we go, wing up, and then... Is this gap too small? Small enough, or is it too large? He's going to go up to the back of him, but not in time for the corner. So Copy will hold on, and that's allowed Schwalbe to really close up now.
Yeah. Brownie thought about it, but lifted off towards the end of that straight, thinking, you know, if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to end up taking both of us out. Let's just play the waiting game. I've got another chance coming. Well, it's only lap 19 and 27. It's not like it's the last chance. Take your time. Pick your battles.
Yeah.
Ellington's just lost 3/10 to Camille though.
So Copy still going. Still keeping himself ahead of Brownie, who is there in P5. Schwalbe, right on the back of this battle, does very much have the opportunity here to take some seriously important points. Like you say, those zones with this huge amount of penalties, he's going to drop down the field no matter what, unless everyone else just suddenly falls away. But closing in on the back of it, Nickton, is a good sign that the zones have found some pace. I don't think he'll be able to find enough pace to cover all of the penalties he's got.
Yeah, don't forget Schwable's got a 3 second as well, so even if he gets past Brownie and Copy, he could lose out at the checker flag. Browning's actually quite far off the back of Copy this time. Maybe he's just went full ham last time and realised, oh, didn't get it right. Let's have a couple of cooldowns, reset and go again in a moment. And he's almost outside a second. He's got to be careful of that. It's the last thing he's going to want to do. Zones though, battling it and still. Zones might not be any chance of finishing on the podium here today, but doesn't mean he can't give it a good go.
Yeah. I am actually... I noticed something that Copy did, which was pretty smart. He just tried to very suddenly burst away from Brownie. When Brownie got close, Copy said, oh, he's actually pushing now. I better get a move on, better get a scoot on. Brownie burnt all that ERS trying to pass him, couldn't actually do it, so now he's gone into conservative mode again in his mind. And Copy just said, boom, see it, and took off and took that 7/10th gap and extended it a little bit. It's now back to about the same, but Schwalbe is starting to now fall away a little bit, and he's somehow recovered his ERS.
Yeah. So Brownie was a tenth faster in the first sector, but was half a second slower on the last lap. That's where the gap has come from. Copy, as he said, did put the hammer down and try to break the 1 second window. Hasn't succeeded, unfortunately, for Copy, but who knows what can happen. We're only on lap 20 of 27. Zones is still on the back of Benetton. He's not giving up. What's Brownie going to do this time, though? Still in mode 0. Went off a lot of ERS. They're almost back to being equal. 15% between them. And let's see what's the lap times this time around. Brownie did slightly faster by 2/10 on Copy this time.
I'm just watching this. I'm going to call it a battle between Nickton and Zones. He is working his way towards, but I'm seeing that ERS usage on Zones just getting mullered. I mean, it's very similar between the two of them, but Nickton is the defending car, so he's automatically at a loss when it comes to ERS, based on the fact that Zones has DRS and can charge it. And I'm just seeing Zones really giving it the full beans, but not really getting the reward for it.
Well, we'll see how that works out. He's less than half a second off the back of Benetton, but he's almost doing it just for show now. He's not going to hold the position once he gets it. Penalties will kick him in the arse once they are applied. As it stands, he will still be down in P7. He's got 16 seconds of penalties, so that would put him 20 seconds off the lead. There's a comfortable gap between Beaker and Stephanation for him to fall into.
So Zones has dropped to about 6/10 off the back of a Nick turn. Copy is under attack. Here comes Brownie. He's bringing it in a little bit more. This is actually about perfect for Brownie now. If he gets the braking zone just right here, as Camille says, fastest lap, he should be able to sling it out of the final corner and work his magic on Copy. He's gone for mode 5. This is what he did earlier. The gap is too big though. He needs to acknowledge that now and back off it. He has. That's good. Good. It's around about 4/10 is sort of the gap. Because the DRS straight is not that long and the toe is not that effective on that area of the track, you know, Brownie is going to have to make sure the gap is already at 4/10 before he goes for the shot.
Yeah, or hope that Copy has a little wobble coming off the corner. Those bumps are nasty, aren't they?
Oh, they really are.
If you hit it at the wrong angle, the wrong speed, you're in the wall. And Copy will want to avoid anything. Brownie will want Copy to get it. And, well, we'll see how that works out. Camille still has a comfortable lead over Ettington. Coming down slowly, but Camille doesn't really have anything to worry about at the moment.
No,
Quite happily sit in front.
He's net 6.5 seconds ahead of it. Nixon, if you count penalties. I mean, obviously he's dramatically ahead of Zern, so there's no worry from that angle. It's just Camille now in a position where he just carries on doing what he's doing, just enjoy life and see what happens. It's a shame though that Zern's got as many penalties as he did, because you know, P3 is a really solid result. Brownie, here we are then. He has got himself into that window now. That gap that he's got right now, if he can manage it through the final corner and not let Copy run away on the exit, he might just... Oh, I thought he was going to get a penalty there, but he's kept it clean. Yeah. Is he going to turn the ERS up? He needs to get that ERS up. There we go, he's done it. This is it then. So DRS wing wide open. Lap 23 of 27 is when that he decided to do the move. Copy goes defensive. Brownie goes around the outside. It's going to be the most difficult line through turn 1, but he's done it all the way around. Nice and simply done from Brownie. Copy falls to P5 with a Schwalbe working his way, but very low on ERS.
Schwalbe has a penalty as well, so not too much of an issue about that. That's something for Beaker to try and capitalise on. Schwalbe's got a 3-second penalty. Beaker can close up that gap in the closing stages of this race. He's got a chance of gaining another position. But Brownie up to P4. I said don't count him out. I thought about going for him for the podium.
But you didn't, so you're just as bad as me.
No, but I thought it. I went for Schwalbe, which isn't going to work out for me. But it may. This race isn't over yet.
Yeah, you got 4 laps. There could be a mega crash where we see 2 of the cars taken out and then Schwalbe just rockets to P3. Possible, but highly unlikely, because these guys, Brownie and Copy at least, they are incredibly clean and incredibly consistent. Yeah, Brownie's just took off.
Leaves Copy having to burn so much ERS to try and catch up to him. Brownie's chucked down a load as well to try and get that 1 second window. As Camille goes faster, that's just a
That's
statement.
just bragging rights, isn't it, really? That's all he's doing. He's not really worried. He's just smashing it. Copy then. He's gone for mode 3 down the home straight. You know, the gap is too large. He's decided to knock it down to mode 0 again, but look at that. He's really working for him. Just slowly but surely raking in Brownie. The gap has closed up quite substantially. I'm just watching Schwalbe's ERS. He is really, really struggling to be maintained. Beaker's in the same boat, but I mean, he's been like that the entire race, hasn't he, really? Since lap 3, I think.
Yeah. Right, so 21 seconds, that's... I was doing my zones maths. Zones will still drop behind Beaker but ahead of Stefanator. So it's not going to be an issue unless he picks up more penalties, and Justice picks up a penalty as well. That's not going to affect it, I think. He is P9, plumb last of the current runners, but it's getting 2 points as it stands. Keep on going.
Points mean?
Prizes.
Yeah. Although, not today.
Not real prizes.
No. Just
Need a lot of them.
glory points, really. That's all it is. Alright, Brownie is P4. Gap is 6.7 tenths between Copy and Brownie. Is Copy going to try and break that down in time for the final few corners? Realistically, Copy needs to... Wow. That's a big problem.
That could be Brownie and Copy fighting now for P2.
What's
That's
the
8
gap?
seconds of penalties.
Yeah, they're within it. They're within that gap.
Just.
So, Anicta needs to start pulling off some miracle lap times in order to get that gap sorted out. Or he needs to pray that Copy and Brownie have a big fight. But that's really just chucked everything into the mix now. Copy is very much in the running for a podium, and I don't think he realizes it.
He's right on the edge. He's got to be within currently about 12 seconds. He's 11.7. Yeah, so I know that might not make much sense, but it does in my head.
Fair enough. Right. Brownie needs to figure out how to hold Copy back. I mean, 5 tenths is the gap right now. Copy did start to work the magic on Brownie, and you can see the ERS is looking really good now for Copy. Brownie is not in the worst position. He's got 30%, and he should be able to charge a fair bit of it back through Spoon in the next bit. 35 now, so good. And then obviously the final braking zone. This is the area though where he needs to deploy something. He knows it. That's why he's gone for mode 5 and mode 4. Working his way down it. Copy is really using that toe. Brownie's doing everything to shake it. I don't think this will be close enough though. It might be actually. He might be able to get this. If he can get a good exit, this could be Brownie losing that position.
Well, Copy is currently outside of Entertain's drop distance, but Brownie's inside of it. I think this could be a really interesting check flag if the gaps maintain how they are. Copy's not getting through on Brownie. Brownie kicks up some dust into Copy's face to say, nah, you're not coming through. 2 laps to go though. Well, one.
Oh, Brownie's gone! No, mistake!
Oh,
Brownie's off into the grass. He's kept his car alive and he's not got any damage, but that is dramatic loss of time there. He's now gone outside of the podium, and we've been complimenting him on how consistent he is. Just one slight mistake cost him 2 places, and Copy is definitely going to be going to buy a lottery ticket after this. That is very lucky indeed to be able to really capitalise on that.
Brownie will still get Schwable. Schwable's got a 3-second penalty to his name. So Brownie will still get, as it stands, P5, but with zones dropping with P4, Entertain's not going to drop that far. Entertain currently has everyone covered. It's
Including
close,
Copy?
including Copy. He's got about 0.6 of a lead.
Schwabe is just
One mistake.
destroying his ERS. He's on 6%. And that's before we even get to 130 hours, so he's already in trouble. Just trying to break it back together and somehow work on it. But he's got onto the back of Copy, so it is working out for him. It's just that he can't... If Copy decided now, okay, goodbye, that's it. There's nothing he can do about it. He's in mode 4 again. And again, he's back to 6%, just slowly holding onto those single digits, not really getting anything out of this.
He's just got to keep up the pressure on Copy. If Copy makes a little wobble, just like Brownie's just done, anything can happen at this stage of the race now. Fatigue's starting to set in. We are on the final lap. Brownie's 2.5 seconds off the back of Trouble. If Copy has a wobble and picks up a penalty, then Brownie could get back past. This race isn't over.
No, it really isn't. Everybody has to keep it as clean as they can. Schwalbe chucked it hard into the first exit. Second one's okay, but the exit was a bit wide. 6 tenths, almost into 7 tenths is the gap between him and Copy. With that penalty being applied, like you said, he's definitely not going to gain the position on Copy. It's just more about how much can Copy do to reel that gap in. Currently, he's still outside of it, isn't he? That's what, 8.7?
To Enton,
Nickton.
yes. About 8.7.
So Nickton will actually hold on to P2, believe it or not. Despite the amount of penalties he's had, despite these guys not getting one, it's just a bit too far back. But Camille, coming around the final corner then, will take today's Grand Prix victory here. 26 points as he got the fastest lap as well. And Nickton will come across and take second with penalties applied. Zones will take it, and he's about to start his descent through the placements as Copy will cross the line and take that from him, along with Schwalbe and Brownie coming up as well. So Brownie jumps Schwalbe, like you said, gets up to P4. Copy gets on the podium. Beakers jumps zones. Is Stefan? Oh no, Stefan is too far back. Surely not going to jump in.
No, Stephanie's got his own penalties. Stephanie's going to have about 8 seconds of penalties. And just nice. We'll trust this. There we go.
Cross the line. Beautiful. All right. Well, I mean, we've seen the Grand Prix. Who's your driver of the day?
Camille didn't put a foot wrong. Copy benefited from penalties applied to the guys in front to get his position. Same with Brownie. If Brownie had made it onto the second step, it would have gone for Brownie, but I think Camille just completely dominated it.
Yep.
Didn't put a foot wrong.
Agreed. Definitely worthy of driver of the day. I think he absolutely smashed it. And here's your rundown then. So Camille will take the race win along with the fastest lap. So he is going to get those 26 points in total. Good stuff from him. And Nickton gets P2 after starting the grid at the very beginning on the front row. Just didn't manage to hold it together to be able to maintain race lead and get the win. So he falls to P2. Copy gets P3 due to penalties from Zones, who falls right down the order. We'll talk about it in a second. Brownie there in P4. Schwalbe P5. Beaker P6. Zones, who got 16 seconds, sadly, of penalties, falls to P7. Stefanitz P8. Just Ice P9. And that's the last of the finishers, as your DNFs were Overspeed and Blackbird. Overspeed with probably the biggest crash I've seen in a while now.
I kind of missed it, so I will watch that later.
It was good. You should definitely watch it later. But thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been Ben Ragnar McConnell. Joining me has been Jamie Ancastle Elder. Thank you as always, Jamie. You are a lad. And we'll see you guys next week for more WCR action.
Ciao, muchly.